Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch, and it's actually meme season. We're having basically a meme super cycle on every chain, and it's now making its way to stacks. Now, everything you hear is not financial advice. Please do not participate in anything I'm doing. This is all a case study. This is all interesting. I talk about theoretical portfolios. Think about this as a voluntary education class that you meet up with your friends on the weekend. This has nothing to do with what you should be doing in real life. But I'm going to be talking about some things that I've changed to this theoretical portfolio. If you're new here, I've been talking about stacks, Bitcoin, DeFi. I've been really hyper mega bull on Alex, DIKO, Sovereign, so on and so forth, ORNJ wallet, and I have changed a little bit some of those things in that wallet, in that theoretical portfolio. And I think it's time to consolidate. Stacks is one of those reasons. I'm going to go through all the things, but first we'll talk about memes. Now, everyone thinks, when I talk about memes, that it's a joke and there's no science to it. There is rhyme or reason to this, right? I mean, take for example a meme coin with $50,000 in market cap, right? And if somebody tweets about it, right, I would never be the first to tweet about something like that. The only way I would ever tweet about something that low is if somebody brings it to my attention first. So I don't really know where everyone else stands on that. For me personally, I feel like that's market manipulation, even with my small amount of followers. So until somebody starts mentioning it on Twitter or some type of social media, then I would feel comfortable talking about it. But let's dive on in and talk about what's going on here. So if you guys don't know, Solana basically has been having a meme season for the last year, right? If you go on Deck Screener or any of those others where you can look up different coins, basically every 5 minutes there's a new coin pumping to over $1 million in market cap, so on and so forth. I've been through that. I've gotten burned. I've lost tons of money, but it was a great learning experience. And now it's applicable to the stacks meme season, okay? So remember, when you take L's, you learn, okay? So the thing about Solana is there's 25 different dexes, right? You could show this here. There's one called like Bird Eye, Jupiter, I think there's one with a K. I can't remember. Kratom or something like that. I don't know. There's too many to count, right? And there's so many coins popping off. It's ridiculous, right? Now we've got president meme coins popping off. At some point, GameStop went to 100 million or 500 million or something like that, or 100 million. I don't even know. Bed Bath & Beyond, right? You had those stock meme seasons, but they were cryptocurrencies. You have, Pepe the Frog and all that on Ethereum, right? So those ecosystems are much larger than stacks, right? So the thing about stacks, which makes this much easier, right, is there's a smaller pool, right? Okay, so I'll get into that further, but first let's talk about what I've been talking about for the last few days. Okay, so just want to bring up the WELSH community is the strongest I've ever seen it. They're paying homage. They've got new people coming in. There's people making merchandise. They're trying to get on centralized exchanges. They're absolutely popping off. And not to mention, I've been tweeting about this. A lot of my tweets are funny, but some truth is said in jest, right? Or irony, right? You got to pick up on the irony of behind these things. But the first meme on Bitcoin, that is marketing genius. And you think there's no rhyme or reason to these things, but that is an acute detail that you should be paying attention to. Welsh is absolutely going bonkers, right? It's over 100 million in market cap, right? We were down in the pennies in February, less than pennies, right? In February, now we're over a penny, right? So are we going to make it to $1? I don't know. But the first meme on Bitcoin to me seems like marketing genius. I think this little emoji thing is really cool for merch, right? I think it's just a recognizable thing. So I feel comfortable making, theoretically, if there is a meme, you have a meme part of your bag, this would be a huge component, right? There's so many memes that are broken all-time highs, like Pepe on ETH and different AI meme coins on like Avalanche or whatever they are. There's so many that Stacks doesn't have one yet. I mean, I clearly think this will probably number one. I'd be surprised if like Leo or Gus passed it. So to me, this makes sense in terms of risk reward if you were to take a gamble on this. But again, not financial advice. This is purely a gamble, right? There's no intrinsic value here, right? And what is intrinsic value? Is it the fun, right? Is gambling have intrinsic value? Because that's essentially what this is. You should know about the risks, right? Now, I tweeted this today. Which is important to note, right? WELSH, what happens when it gets listed on another centralized exchange, right? We're already on one. They got to buy a huge bag. So what happens when they do, right? And I tweeted today, WELSH is basically like if Bitcoin and Doge had a baby, right? Because Doge is infinite supply and Bitcoin is capped. They'd have WELSH, right? Because WELSH is capped, right? It's under Bitcoin, right? This is, that is so stupid that it's actually insanely brilliant, okay? Now, there are risks. Like, if you go and Stacks Tools, you can see, like, this wallet here has over 1 million in WELSH. Probably at some point, they're going to be dumping bags, and they have been dumping bags. The question is, can the market absorb it? I don't know, right? I think that's an interesting thing to think about. I think if retail comes back, it can, right? But absolutely, this thing could monster dump, right? You have to be aware of that. This is a meme coin. This is not Bitcoin. This is not a stock with a board of directors, right? With stop gaps in the market, right? That you can put a stop loss on a stock, right? There are safeguards. There are no safeguards here. This, you have to know exactly what you're getting into here. But I just want to say, I've been talking about this for a week now, and everybody thinks I'm kidding about the memes got out of control on Bitcoin or on Stacks, right? I tweeted here, here's an example of a video I made the other day, and in this video I referenced, and maybe it was the one before it, that there's just too many memes. It only makes sense to go back to WELSH and maybe Leo, I said in this video, and maybe Pepe, right? Because then you had Max coming out, you had Play coming out. It just didn't make sense. The risk rewards were not there. And I think generally I was right, and I was right for this reason. Because now you've got new memes like Cactus and Taco going absolutely ballistic under 100K market cap, right? Just like Pepe did, which somebody called out. And then when they did, I then referenced it, right? I did not originally say Pepe. I will never take credit for that. I was low on Pepe, but again, remember, ethically, I will never call something out first unless I heard it from another influencer at that low of market cap. I do not want to be responsible for market manipulation. That's not what I'm in the job to. I'm in here to have fun and educate you. Absolutely, hands down. I always believe in ethics. I hope you get that now. I've never taken money, so on and so forth. So I just want to reiterate that. Now, also in this video, I don't know if I said it, I talk about Alex, right? And I talk about how horrible Stacks Swap is, which is, I think, crashed today from all the people buying things like Cactus and Taco and Pepe, right? There's tons of failures with the swaps. It's absolutely, the UI is horrible. You can see here in this video, I say it says Hero Wallet. It's not, the Hero Wallet doesn't exist anymore. It's now Leather, right? But people love that. That in itself is a meme. So you have to pay attention to this. And I just want to say, if you do have a thesis about AI or Bitcoin DeFi, if you make a crazy bag on these things, theoretically, you probably should be consolidating to a regulated exchange with a 401k, invest in real estate, do something a little less risky than crypto, right? Or invest in your theoretical crypto bag. This is totally out of control. This is uncharted territory. So just please be careful, and I'm going to continue to say that. So if I sound like a broken record, I'm trying to be as ethical as possible. Now, this is the Stack Swap chart. I was right. Down below, I made a joke. It's an inappropriate joke, so I'm not going to make it on the YouTube video. But I basically said this thing is going to go full erect, okay? And that's what it's done. Now, is there going to be a pullback because the site crashed? Right, I don't know the market cap of this thing. It says different market caps on different websites like CoinGecko, CMC, Sat Screener. Right, this is so I don't know what's going to happen, but it's complete dog water. This thing, but it's going to pump because of that, and it has, just like Pepe pumped, right, for all those reasons I've talked about in other videos. Now, this is basically what it boils down to: is what is the meme? Is it funny? Are people looking at it, right? A Pepe frog eating a taco while sitting on a cactus. I'm a genius, right? That's how little science there is behind this, right? You have to understand market caps. You have to understand how big is the market, right? You know, you have to understand stacks and how Nakamoto's not out. It doesn't have 5-second block times, and you have failures. It's hard for people to get out. Those are all things that are going to make it pump, right? Because people give up. They just hold. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea how to get to the website. They search for hours. When they get there, they're going to buy it or whatever they're going to do, right? So all those fundamentals are actually so nonsensical that they make sense. Okay. Now, if you don't know what stat screener is, here, see stats, you just saw it. Stack swap was way up, came back down. Is it going to go back up? I don't know, right? We can do a refresh. Stacks is pumping, so I don't know. There's more risk to this. Might just want to be in stacks, right? Now, this is a guy that called stacks, or not stacks. What is it? Pepe on stacks. Okay. Now, then he called Cactus. Okay. And I said, you might want to pay attention to this guy. This guy's got tons of experience. Kudos to him. I think he's being completely ethical. It's just my standard, right? When I say I don't want to call something out before somebody else does. You know, I don't understand the market enough. I don't think it's market manipulation, but just out of an abundance of caution, I will not do that. I think it's perfectly fair. It should be legal, right? People go on CNBC all the time, but that's not my decision to make. That's Congress's decision. Please follow all your rules and regulations. I know I'm sounding like a dead horse, but this is very uncharted territory. Again, look, Pepe dumping too, as we talk about, high risk, right? So if you're invested in these things, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this is completely out of control. But this thing was under 50K market cap. I mean, the chart is just straight up, right? It's pumped like 50,000%. It got up to a $12 million market cap. I don't know what's going to happen next, but if you were in all those other memes, you missed this, right? You missed Cactus. You missed that, right? So another one, Cactus, absolutely huge, massive green thing, right? Are they rotating from Pepe to this? I have no idea, but it's empirical that you're astute and you're quick and you're fast if you are messing with these things. Absolutely out of control. If I were to buy and hold one, it would absolutely be WELSH. All of this is just complete nonsense at this point. So now let's get to the important stuff about Bitcoin DeFi now that we got memes out of the way and why I think they're going to pump, right? Let's reiterate. There's one exchange. Stacks Nakamoto upgrade is not out yet. People have to hold. They can't sell. There's failures. You got to put in huge slippages, right? There's all these things that are making it pump, and they're all bad reasons, right? It's terrible UI. It doesn't work well, okay? That is crypto in a nutshell, okay? Now, I think the Alex Lab chart absolutely looks bonkers. I think it's been consolidating for a long time. I think this is going to billions of dollars. They have a Lisa, which is, what do you call it, product coming out, a liquid staking product. And I'll make a video on this. I still haven't gotten around to it. The ETH liquid staking is getting huge investments from venture capitals. I think banks are trying to use it to get yield, so on and so forth. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be bigger on DIKO with stacking DAO. You can get an airdrop, I believe, which is coming at some point. And if you want to rotate out of these memes, right, or some of the other ones I'm going to mention here, the other Bitcoin DeFi, that's what I'm preparing for. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, right? So Alex Lab absolutely looks like it's going to send. To me, it just looks bullish. I think it's just going to keep pushing up, right? People are using it to buy memes. There's a huge amount of utility with farming. It's a great brand. VCs are backing it, so on and so forth. And here's DIKO, total value locked, going absolutely bonkers. They've got the stacking DAO partnership because it's the same coder. I hope you know these things. I think this thing is absolutely going to send again. Low market cap. I think this is going to billions too, but I could be wrong. Not financial advice. Now, Bitcoin DeFi, Sovereign has been one of my top favorites. It's pumped 400, 500% since I called this out. We called the Pico bottom. Absolutely. Now, why am I consolidating here? You know, first of all, if it breaks this downtrend, it's probably going to send to the moon. I don't know. You know, I think maybe we go down a little further. I think we're in a downtrend. I just think Stacks is more hyped right now. It's the premier L2. I think Sovereign, I'm going to have to come back to this, right? They got the Bitcoin OS. If they announce a tap exchange, immediately I'm going back. Okay, just like, to me, that is the most bullish thing they could come out with. A runes exchange, a tap exchange, when that announces, and it's probably going to be soon, so I'm probably shooting myself in the foot. I just think Alex is going to like absolutely send. I think stacking DAO is going to absolutely send. All these memes have been absolutely sending. Now, I've gotten into some heat about ORNJ the other day. ORNJ is one of my favorite ideas, but I have been fed information from developers that you've got to be careful. There's nothing on the GitHub. They have a relatively small team. They have tried making products in the past that wasn't the right market fit, so on and so forth. ORNJ, still one of my favorite ideas of all time. But again, until they start releasing things, I think this is going to take a hit in terms of Bitcoin DeFi and consolidating back to stacks. To me, it only makes sense when they have more partnerships. You know, all that is good. I want to see that. I want to see the product. I want to see it work. I want to see people use it. I think that is the signal through all the noise, right? You can tweet something, right? But if you're not going to deliver, that's a huge problem. I love you, ORNJ. If you're watching this, absolutely love the idea of the product, having a wallet that interacts with gaming, Bitcoin DeFi, your one-stop shop. I love Xverse. I think a wallet, having a coin is a natural fit because you can share revenue. You can give discounts to people who interact with different platforms. So absolutely one of my favorite projects. But again, I think it's worth consolidating back to stacks because of airdrops, because of just development, because of recognition, because of VC, I think is going to be pumping these things much harder. And retail is going to be pumping these things much harder. Not to mention Nakamoto is coming out. Again, TRAC and Ghosty, my favorite BRC20s. Again, I'd rather be in these, right? I think these have been consolidating forever. You've got Tab airdrop coming. It doesn't make sense to be so spread out, in my opinion. I think there's more relative theoretical gains if you consolidate. So, again, I know this is a lot of information. I hope you've got all of that. I got a hunch. Stacks memes are absolutely flying. Please be careful. These things are just complete nonsense. They don't make any sense. But there is an art to it, okay? I hope I've demonstrated that here. You can make a lot of money. I don't know the ethics behind it. I wish Congress would clarify. I do think you should have access to free markets, so I just want to say that. But out of abundance of caution, I'm not going to be pointing out these low market caps unless the market has started to pick up on that. I personally feel that that's the best idea. Criticize me all you want. Again, I want to address, I am not a paid fudder. I am not a paid shiller. I have taken no income from anybody. These are all theoretical ideas. And I hope you enjoyed listening. This is purely for entertainment and education. So I've got a hunch, and my hunch is I believe in you. Again, baby, you're smooth like lightning. You can call me Hunch because I got a hunch.